There seems to be a never-ending supply of rooks. Oh, that's the last of them. Oh, it's up in the tree there, looking at me, like in that Hitchcock film. These little chalets, by the way, on Yastov Street, they were built by the Russians in the 50s to house the specialists building the Palace of Culture, Stalin's building. And those little huts, they kind of, afterwards they devolved from parents to children, from people that had been given them by the state to live in, but they never became owners of them. The land under this is still owned by the state, can be reclaimed at any time and used for embassies, and so nobody sells them. You wouldn't buy them, or if you did buy them, you just buy them in the knowledge that you may discover that one day you could wake up with no legal title, so obviously you wouldn't give much for them if you did get the chance to buy one. It's not the same as buying a freehold. And as you can see, some of them have added slightly more permanent structures at the back. The people have just lived here ever since for 50 years and more in those houses that were only ever intended to be provisional, and people live a nice lifestyle in there, very permanent looking, but in fact they're sitting on the possibility that one day they might get the letter that they've been dreading, or their forefathers have been dreading for 50 years. And I hope it doesn't happen to them, because at the end of the day they're charming little places and they give a certain unique accent to this area of Warsaw. Tucked as it is in the middle of a diplomatic area, it still looks like you're out in the countryside, and that's where we spent so many years in our old building here, and we still haven't sold it, so we've got our cars parked here, our company cars parked here next to it. To come to at the end of the day, if I've taken my car to work, I usually try and walk, but if I can't and I take my car, then I can still park it here next to our old building until we finally sell the building. We've got a 15-year lease in a special purpose vehicle for sale. If you want this lovely historical building of about 400 meters squared on a lease, who would do for a restaurant or anything like that, then let me know, and I'll be only too happy to sell it to you. If you're an agent, you think you know somebody who would like it, then I can let you have on our odstępne, as they're called, also some provision level, so get in contact. Right, we're at hippotherapy again, and the kids are just waiting. They turned out all the lights inside the car, which I have to turn off afterwards, and we're waiting to go and see the horses, because we're a little bit early. You're excited? Tanya now can get on a horse on her own, apparently. Tanya, dig-a-dig, dig-a-dig, dig-a-dig. Yes, daddy, daddy, you said daddy. O,
Tania, jeszcze czekaj.
co?
Jeszcze zaczekaj. Jeszcze tam dziecko jeździ.
Okej,
A, to ty nagrywaj.
okej.
Bez nerwów, dzieci. George, co to znaczy? Tania, nie chodzi po dzieckiem.
See, this is the problem. If you come early anywhere and you've got autistic kids, they don't understand what it is to have to wait afterwards in the car. He wants his horses. He wants his horse, don't you?
Tania, nie wychodź. To ma nie wychodź. Dobra, dobra, chodź.
What did you say? Did you say something?
Idziemy? Tania, tam poczekaj.
Berm. That's me. Tanya's on her own on the horse. She doesn't have to be accompanied on a horseback. She's just got one person standing by the side. Isn't that progress? Yeah, she's all on her own. She's a horsewoman now. Happy? Okay. Very good. That's progress, isn't it? So now we're going to see how Tanya gets down. Off you go. That's nice. You give me your hand. You give me your hand. And then George is up on that. Hang on, let's not go off that yet, because I'm still going to go to George keep on. I know you want to be off to the car, but wait a second. George is on. Is he going to be able to go? Is he going to be on his own as well this week? Or is he going to need somebody up there with him? He's a little bit upset. So right, so for now George is still going to be with his fellow rider, and in due course he'll progress to being on his own like Tanya is, as you just saw. Tanya's enjoyed her time on quacking. Sami to mogło być snowman. Teraz czekać na koniec, co? Oj, dziękuję. Patrzymy tylko jedno rondo i wtedy idziemy wspólnie do samochodu. Here he is. He's getting encouraged to stroke the horse, to feel at home on the horse. Okay. We'll go back to the car then. Snowman was made, and the snowman was made on our balcony, and Pushkin, the snow's quite heavy, and Pushkin went out to see what he was all about. I'm apparently allowed to film my own cat, but I've been asked to remove the video of the cattery where I bought him because there were too many complaints from idiots on that film that the cats were kept in small cages. I explained the whole time to everybody who put that comment on there that Mrs. Jevish, who runs the cattery, doesn't keep those cats in small cages really. They're just there for showing, for looking at them, so they don't run off while kids are looking at them for a few moments while I was filming them. But she says, you know, oh, she didn't like the comments, and therefore she's basically she's somebody that's sensitive to criticism. So I thought, well, you know, it's her place, and if she's got any problems with the film being taken in her place, it's not like it was a public place, it was her home, I suppose, and so I decided that I would make it private, so you can't see that film unless you're on my friends list. But basically she said it was alright for me to film my own cat at home, which is nice of her, isn't it? I'm glad that I can film my own cat. I didn't actually have that written in the license, because these days to get a cat from a cattery you've got to write a contract, and there wasn't anything specifically written in that I'm allowed to film my cat, but she said that I'm allowed to film my cat in my own home, so that's okay. What I'm doing now is perfectly legal apparently. But oh, here he goes again. He's going out and he's going to look at that snowman again. Is he out again? So that's never a scarf. Irina, to nie jest szalik. Is that cold for eyes?
Холодно, ну что ж ты сделаешь?
I didn't say cold, I said cold. Thank you. What is that carrot doing? Those are not very big pieces of coal, they're like cloves. He hasn't got very expressive eyes. That's nice, isn't it? A living Christmas tree in the snow. It's not Christmas, it's Christmas a while back. That's my table. I should have taken it indoors, but I didn't, and now it's covered in snow and it's wood. But nevertheless, I'll probably get away with it 1 year. Probably next year I won't, though. Nice. It's brass monkeys out there. I see that tea is on the way. Oh, and what's this? Spaghetti bolognese. Spaghetti bolognese being heated up. Now that's what I like to see. A little bit more maybe. More please.
Нет, там на дне очень много их.
Alright then. This crazy cat. Oh, off he goes. Alright then. So that's why, if you're wondering, if you're looking for that film, which was actually about my 8th most popular film, although it had hardly been looked at in Poland, and she said she was complaining that she'd got, complaints back from Ticker and all that lot, and they said that it's causing the race to be, devalued in Poland. It said actually in Poland it had not been looked at all that much. I could probably calculate the views in Poland wouldn't be more than a couple of hundred, and that film gets looked at about 60 times a day for the last year and a half. So there's a few morons spoiling it for everybody, really. I wouldn't have advised her not to take any notice, because most people liked the film and understood what I was saying about it, but basically you shouldn't get too sensitive from what morons write underneath films. If I got worried about that, I'd probably have stopped a long time ago.